All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Amy Crane, Social Lab Marketing. We're going to give everybody a couple minutes to get signed on to the room. But as you come in, say hello. Let me know where you're hanging out from. So you guys know I'm in Asheville, North Carolina. So it's nice and hot. It's a beautiful summer day here. So this week, you guys know the drill. I'm here every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, answering all of your questions about Facebook advertising. So one of the questions that I get asked the most is, what's the difference between a promoted post and a boosted post, and when am I supposed to use them? And I totally get why it's confusing, because they're basically the same type of ad. They're just called different things, and there are one or two small differences. So today I'm going to walk you through exactly what a boosted post and exactly what a promoted post is. So you know exactly what they are, when to use them. I'm also going to share some tips on, the best way to use a promoted post or a boosted post in your Facebook marketing. I've also got some tips on making the most out of, or getting the most out of, your promoted post. These are some things that I don't know if people know that they can do them, that it's an option, but it's something that I see a lot of people skip over when they're creating their promoted post or their boosted post. So we're going to walk through that too. So I'm going to share some slides with you guys just to walk you through the differences, and then we're actually going to pop over to Facebook, and I'm going to walk you through setting them up so you make sure that you've got every little box checked and you've got them set up the right way. So we'll actually set up a boosted post and we'll set up a promoted post. So that's what we've got on the agenda for today. And of course, if you have questions, if anything isn't clear as we go, drop me a message in the chat box, and I'll definitely save some time at the end to answer any of your questions. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's dive in. We've got a lot to cover as usual. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Guys. All right, so let me know if you guys can see this all right. So let's start with the difference between a promoted post and a boosted post. So they're actually both post engagement ads. Basically what this means is you're optimizing for likes, comments, and shares on your ad. So you're optimizing for engagement. So whenever you put up a post and you hit that boost button, or you go into Ads Manager, Power Editor, and create a promoted post, you're promoting this post, or your main objective is just to get engagement. You're not optimizing for clicks or for conversions. Now, you might get some clicks and conversions, but that's not the main goal of this ad. It's just to get engagement. So that's the number one thing you want to remember, when you're deciding if this is the right type of ad to use, is be really clear on your goals. So I always use I just boost it for my page because I'm just sharing it with my fans. But for this webinar every week, I always put up a post either Sunday or Monday, just as a reminder that, hey, we're meeting on Tuesday at 2 o'clock if you want to join, and to let people know about the topic. So most of my fans are on my email list. And if they're not, they can still sign up. But the main goal of that post is to just remind people and to stay in front of my audience so they don't forget about it. So that's a great way to use a promoted or a boosted post, but I'm not actually optimizing, or my main goal isn't to get people signed up for my webinar. I have other ads running for that, but we'll get into that a little bit more. So a promoted post, you actually set up an Ads Manager or Power Editor, so you're actually going into the ad tool to create a promoted post. Now, the number one difference between a promoted post and a boosted post is that you have more targeting options when you use a promoted post. So if you want to use demographics or behaviors or custom audiences, you'll need to go into Ads Manager and create a promoted post. When you use a boosted post, you only have the options to show this to your fans and their friends, and certain interest groups. So you can target by interest, but again, if you want to use a saved audience, a custom audience, behaviors or demographics, you'll have to create a promoted post. And so if that doesn't make sense, everything that I just threw out there at you, don't worry, because once we pop over to Facebook, you'll see what I'm talking about and it'll make more sense. So again, a promoted post, you set up an Ads Manager or Power Editor, and you've got a couple more targeting options. A boosted post is just created by hitting that boost post button under a post, and you still have some options as far as targeting, so you can decide if you wanted to show it to fans and their friends, or interest. But again, both are page post engagement ads, so you're optimizing for likes, comments, and shares. So they're very, very similar. Now, what do you want to use a promoted post for? Of course, you only want to promote your own content. So you also don't want to pay to promote quotes or cute puppy pictures. That doesn't really make sense. You want to make sure it's content and it's your own original content. So blog posts, videos, webinars, anything like that is great to share on your Facebook page and then turn it into a promoted post. So pick content that's helpful for your audience, obviously. So tutorials or how-to or tips, anything where you're sharing your expertise or it's something that has to do with your business, something that would be helpful to your audience. And you just want to get it in front of them. You just want to make sure that they see it, they're aware of it. That's a great way to use a promoted post or a boosted post. But again, if you're optimizing or if your main goal is to get people signed up for a webinar or signed up for your email list, that's going to be a different ad type. The good thing about promoted post or a boosted post is that you can still get people signed up for your email list or your webinar or to buy a product. So it's still really important to set up conversion tracking, and that's an option we did not have before. You guys know how much I love conversion tracking. So the cool thing is you can see what actions people take after they interact with your ad or your post. So maybe I click on your post, I go pop around and playing around on your website, I sign up for your email list. That counts as a conversion. So you're still able to track that. So if you can promote content that gets in front of your fans and also gets them on your email list, it's like a double whammy, right? That works really well. So again, to use the example of my promoted posts that I do every week for my webinar, a lot of my fans are already on my list. They already know about my webinar, but I always have new fans coming to the page and not everyone is on that list. So I get a lot of people that will sign up just because they see that post. Maybe they missed that email. Maybe they didn't know that I did a weekly webinar, or they're new to my page. So I do see some signups from that, but again, it's not my main goal. It's just like an extra bonus when I get people signed up from my promoted post. So I hope that that makes sense. So think of content that you can promote that it's good. You want to get it in front of your audience, but at the same time, you can get them signed up for your list or buy a product, whatever it is. But you want to be really, just make sure that the content you're promoting, that it's your own original content and that it's helpful to your audience. Now, this is something when we pop over to Facebook, I'm actually going to walk you through, but if you're sharing a link and it pulls in a photo, there are a couple things you can do. First, you want to make sure it's an image you want to use, because you can swap this out. And this is something that a lot of people don't know that they can do, or they just totally skip over it. And you also want to remember no more than 20% text. So your 20% text rule still applies here. And you can edit the headline and description for your post. So if you're setting this up, especially as a promoted post or boosted post, you can edit all of this and it's going to make your ads more effective. So you'll see that again when we pop over to Facebook. I'm going to walk you through how to do that. Excuse me. So to make your posts more effective, of course, you want to decide which audience you want to target. Do you just want to show this to your fans? Are you going to target fans and their friends, a couple interest groups, or do you want to show this to a custom audience? So that's going to determine which type of ad you're setting up. You also want to make sure you create a specific image for your ad if you need to. I'm going to walk you through how to do that. But every week, I create a specific image for each webinar. So based on my topic, I create an image for it and I upload that to Facebook. So it stands out and everyone knows, they know what the topic is. It's really clear. And also, we're going to set up your conversion tracking so you know what actions your audience takes after interacting with your ad, even if you're not optimizing for it. So again, this is just kind of like that added bonus that you get. And this wasn't a feature that was available before. Before, you would hit that boost post button and Facebook just kind of ran with it. You didn't have control over your targeting. You would just say, I'm going to spend $20 on this, and Facebook would just show their ad to whoever. And so it wasn't super effective because you couldn't control who was seeing your ad. So they've come a long way with both of these. So let's pop over to Facebook and let's start playing around with some promoted posts. All right, I'm just going to swap this out. There I am. We're going to go to Facebook. All right, let me know if you guys can see this all right, if you have any problems with it. All right, so I'm just here on my Facebook page. So the first thing I want to do is let's just lay out a post, and let's just make sure that our post looks great. We've got a good image, our headline and description. We're going to edit all of that. So if you haven't done this before, if you don't know how to do it, we're going to walk through that before we even get to creating the ad. So I actually got a link up here I'm going to share. So we're just going to come to our status update. I've got a link. I want people to check out this replay. So what happens? I pop in my link and it pulls up this really ugly image here. It's small, it's from Webinar Jam, so it's their logo, it's their font. That doesn't really tell you anything about what this webinar, what's going on in this webinar, what I'm trying to promote. So what I do for each one of these, or for a link like this, is I always create an image for this, a specific image. So it's going to take it a second. It was moving really slow earlier. But if you click on this, it'll say upload image. And so you can pull a brand new image to share. So there we go. So see right here where it says remove image. If I wanted to remove this, I can X out right here. Or if you wanted to swap this out, it would say upload image. So you'll just look for this little box. So now I've got an image in here. It's bigger, it takes up more room, it's got text on it. So if I'm scrolling through and I see this post in my news feed, now I know what this link is about, what I'm sharing. So it looks a lot better, it catches your eye, and it allows you to communicate a lot faster what this link is. So just upload an image. You can, again, I decide all of this stuff, I do it all in Canva. You can, if you just select the Facebook ad option, that's the perfect size. So you can, from Canva, select the Facebook ad template, design it, lay it out, save it to your computer, and then upload it here, and it'll be the right size and everything that you need. So always, always, always make sure that the image that you're sharing with your link, it relates, it's clear, it communicates what you're messaging. And if not, design a new one and swap it out. So we've got that there. The next thing is I can edit this right here. So this is Webinar Jam, Facebook Marketing Baby Crane. That doesn't tell you anything about this. So I can swap this out, boosted post or promoted post. And more, you can change it to whatever you want. So now that'll pop up there, and then you can also edit this description. So you can add whatever you want, your call to action, a little bit more info, whatever makes sense. So now this looks a million times better than it did before. It's really clear what this link is about or what this webinar is about. And of course, I can come up here and I can add more text to it. Add more text up here if you want, give a little bit more information. But just from looking at this post, it's really clear what it's about, who it's for, and there's a call to action on it, so you know that you need to sign up. So before you even promote a post, I just want you to go look at your post, make sure your image makes sense, make sure you've got a headline and a description, that it's all really, really clear. So you want to take the time to swap these things out. And to upload new images and all that good stuff. So this is something I see a lot of people skip. So take the time to do it. I promise it's worth it. So once you've got your image set up the way you want, I'm not going to post this one. I've actually got another post So we're just gonna switch over to this tab so we can see. So this is a post that I had up that I actually didn't promote, or I did promote, but I'm gonna walk you through how to promote it. So you'll see I've got my text up here. This was an image that I created just for this link. But look, my bad, I didn't swap out this description. So I caught myself, I busted. So you'll just wanna make sure again that you swap that out because it just says sociallabmarketing.com. It's a waste of that space. But I want to promote this to my fans. This is for my weekly webinar and I want my fans to see it. So if I just want my fans to see it, I can do this as a boost post. So I'm just going to hit this little button right here. So these are your targeting options. People who like your page. This is just your fans that are going to see this. So that's always a great place to start. Your fans know you, they like you, they trust you, and this is a great way to stay in front of them. And again, if they're not on my list, a lot of times they'll sign up for it from seeing a promoted post. You can also send this to people who like your page and their friends. So this is when you see these ads in the news feed and it says Amy Crane likes this post. It's those social proof type ads. So all of my friends will see that I like this page or that I like this post. Not all of my friends, but some of them. The only problem with this is that you don't have a lot of control over which friends see it. So you might be, friends of this person might be seeing that have no interest in Facebook advertising. So it's not as dialed in as just obviously the people that like your page. You can also choose people through targeting. So you've got your default audience here. So mine is set to Australia, Canada, but we're going to edit this. We're going to edit this audience. So I've got countries. So I focus on the US, Canada, Australia, UK. That's where, most of my fans, most of the people on my list come from. Can change the age here. So if I want to bump this up to 30, gender, male, female, and if I wanted to target interest groups. So maybe I wanted to show this to people like Social Media Examiner, Mari Smith, Amy Porterfield, then I would just type those names in here and it's going to be shown to those people. But I'm just going to leave it to fans. So now you've got your total budget here. So you can set this 10, 20, 60, you can even choose your own budget. So whatever you want to spend on this, you have total control. So if I wanted to spend $60, let's say, and I want to spend it over 6 days. I want this to run for 6 days. It's going to tell you how much you're going to spend per day, and it's going to give you an estimate of how many people you're going to reach. Now, this number obviously is going to vary depending on how effective your ads are. So the more effective your ad is, the more clicks, likes, and shares, the more people are going to see it. So this is just kind of an estimate, so you'll know. But you can set this to whatever you want, and you can let it run for however many days you want it to run. Now this next option is picking your conversion pixel. So this is a newer feature. This wasn't available for a while, but it's really cool because you can, now these pixels aren't actually installed. This is just from a test account that I used for this webinar. So these aren't actually installed on my website, but if they were, they would have a little green dot and it would say verified. But so if I wanted to see how many people opt in for my Facebook ad templates, I would just select that. And now when I pull the reporting, it'll tell me how many conversions. So it'll tell me how many likes, shares, comments I'm getting, what I'm paying per action, but it's also going to tell me how many conversions I'm getting and what I paid per conversion. So I'm able to track what happens to people after they sign up or after they click on this ad, which is really, really cool. And then, of course, you'll have your account and your payment info. So you can just hit Boost Post and it'll send it to Facebook for approval. You'll just wait for a little bit. Usually, they're pretty fast about turning these things around. So you shouldn't have to wait too terribly long. Every now and then you'll get an ad that's stuck in review for like 2 days or something crazy. But you'll get approved, your ad will run, and then you'll also start to get notifications saying, your ad is almost finished running. These are the results you've got so far. They'll start popping up in your notification bar. So that's a boosted post. Pretty easy, right? Pretty simple. So now let's pop over to Ads Manager, and you can see I have a couple of promoted posts in here that I set up to run through this account just so you could see what it would look like when you come in here to the reporting. So let's go through this right now. So you'll see you'll have your post engagements, how many engagements each post got, how much you spent. So I think the most I spent was like $9 on this post, and you'll have your cost per action. So of course you can do your breakdown. You can break it down by age and gender, country. You can also do by delivery and engagement. So you can actually see how many comments you got, how many shares, how many clicks to your website. So you'll see here I actually got a pretty decent amount of clicks for just promoting a post without optimizing for it. And then page likes. Of course, I didn't get any page likes from it because this was showing to people that are already my fans. But you'll be able to come in here and actually do a breakdown of what types of action specifically people were taking when they looked at your ad. So let's create a promoted post. I'm just going to click this green button up here in the right corner. And our first option is boost your post. And you'll see over here, it says use the page post engagement objective to boost your post. So that's exactly what we want to do. So we're optimizing for engagement. Boost your post. Choose your Facebook page. And then you'll have a list of all of the most recent posts to your page. So you can select whichever post you want. So I'm going to go with the most recent post. You can also hit this plus button, and this you can create a brand new post. So you'll write your status, you'll share your link, all of that good stuff. So if you want to create one on the fly, you'll just hit this plus button. But I've already got mine up there, so I'm just going to hit continue. Let this load. So if you want to change your campaign name, you can. So it's more specific. Again, you've got your locations. So you could do US, Canada, Australia, whatever. Or if you're a local business and you need to narrow down by a specific city or zip code, you've got all of that there. Age, your gender, male, female. You've got your demographics, interests, behaviors. So you can use all of that here. And then you'll set your budget. So you can set a daily budget if you want to do a lifetime budget, and you can schedule. So you can also set a start and an end date. So if you only want this to run, you know, till August 10th or whatever, you can set a start and an end date there. But you'll see here, you're optimizing for post engagement. So here's what Facebook says. You can choose to bid for your objective clicks or impression. Your choice determines how you pay and who your ad is served to. So when you optimize your bid for page like objectives, you'll pay for the ad to be served to people within your audience who are more likely to like your page. So we're going to leave this at page post engagement. We'll serve your ads to people who are more likely to engage with your post. That's exactly what we want. And just leave your pricing here. Just let Facebook do the bidding for you. They're going to optimize your ad, your budget, and everything to get the most engagement, and then you'll be charged for that. So if you set it for $5, the more effective your ad is, the more clicks, likes, and shares you'll get to your post, but you'll still only be charged that $5 a day. So I just recommend just leave it here. Don't mess with this. Set the amount of post engagement's worth to you. Just set that here. After you get comfortable with it, if you want to start playing around with this and testing it out, you can, but let's just keep it simple. And we've got our ad scheduling. So if you want to run them on a schedule, and just leave your delivery type, just leave all that. I wouldn't mess with any of that. So you'll see down here that this is what your post is going to look like. You've got your preview, what it's going to look like in desktop, what's going to look like in mobile. If let's say I don't want this to show up on the right-hand column, you'll just hit remove. Or if I only wanted it to show up in mobile, I would hit remove here next to desktop. You can also add those back in if you need to. And then you've got your conversion tracking pixel. So you'll choose your pixel here. Again, these are just set up as a test, so they're not actually in there, but you'll be able to select a pixel. So this is for my webinar series. So if I promoted this and I got a couple people signed up for my webinar, I would be able to track and see how many people are signing up. So that's a promoted post. So it's a little bit more, it's a couple extra steps to do a promoted post. And you've got a little bit more options as far as you can actually come in here if you wanted to play with your budget or your bidding, that kind of thing. You've got more options with that. But if you just want to promote something to your fans and you're not optimizing for conversions, you can just do a boosted post. So that's actually what I do for all of my webinar ads. I just boost them because it's just a reminder. I just want to make sure people see it, and I'm not super worried about conversions. All right. Okay, so that is it for walking you through on Facebook. So I'm going to turn this off. Pop back on your screen. All right, so we're back. So if you've got questions, go ahead, type them in the chat box. I saved a couple minutes here to answer any questions that you guys have. So it looks like one question that I've got is about budget. What do you recommend setting your budget for a boosted post? So hopefully you saw when I pulled up the post, when we were going through a boosted post, and it told you how much what your reach was going to be based off of your budget. So it really is going to depend on the size of your audience and how many fans you have. So if you've only got 1,000 fans or a couple hundred fans, you're not going to need a big budget because you're going to reach the majority of those fans off of $5 or $10. I think for my page, I've got a little over 5,000 fans, and I want to say if I spend $5, I probably reach 800 people off of $5. But again, that depends on your page, that depends on your fans, how engaged they are, but you know, stick with your budget. So if you've only got $10 to spend, just spend $10, and it's going to show your ads to the fans that are most likely to engage. So it's not bad to start with a small budget. But obviously, if you've got, you know, a fan base of 50,000, 60,000 fans, you're going to have to spend a little bit more there. But you can usually get by with promoted posts spending less. Also, actions like likes, comments, and shares usually don't cost that much. So, like, I think when I pulled up my post, I don't remember, I guess I could pull it back up and see. You know, I was paying like 15 cents per engagement, 20 cents, 30 cents per engagement. So you're not spending a ton of money on this. It's mostly just getting it out there. So you don't need to budget too much. So that's a good question. All right. Do we have any other questions, or is that it, you guys? Hopefully, you know, now you know the difference between each, you know when to use them, how to use them. So the next time you go to promote a post, just make sure you keep an eye on that image. You swap out your headline and your description so it's really clear. It's going to help make your promoted post more effective. And if you're just promoting to your fans, you can stick with a boosted post. But if you want to promote to other people, if you want to play with your targeting a little bit more, I would go through Ads Manager or Power Editor to do that. So I hope this was helpful, you guys. And you always know if you have questions or if you want some one-on-one help with your Facebook ads, drop me an email, hello@sociallabmarketing.com, and we can chat. You can also head over to my website, sociallabmarketing.com, and you can hit the Let's Chat button, and that'll connect you to my email. So it's great hanging out with you guys as always. We'll be back next Tuesday covering completely different topics, so keep an eye on your email and keep an eye out for my boosted post because that'll probably go up Monday. And I will see you guys next week.